Hello, good morning everyone. As usual, this is Koda Shah and welcome to Swift Programming for Beginners. Now, before we begin, make sure that you have a browser open and that browser is set to https://rappel.it/languages/swift so that you can follow along with all the things that I'll be doing in this lesson. So now in this lesson, we will be learning about functions. So functions is a way for you to be able to group a number of statements together, and then you execute it by calling a name, the function name. And we'll also look at how you can make custom argument labels for your function and how you can have a function inside another function. So let's begin. So let's create a very simple function right now. So the function that I'm going to be creating will calculate the service charge. You go to a restaurant, you eat at a restaurant, and because you are dine-in instead of takeaway, there will normally be a service charge, typically about 10% of the meal cost. So this is how you would write the function. Okay. So for a function, we use the keyword func. Then here we have the name of the function. And we just put open and close brackets here. Then inside the curly braces, we have the function body. So in the function body, I set meal cost as 50, which is an integer. I set service charge at 10 as meal cost divided by 10. Okay. And then I print the service charge is service charge. Now, this is the declaration and definition of the function. And to use the function, we call its name, like so. So when I run this, I should be able to get the service charge to appear in the console. Okay, so it says there service charge is 5. Now, this isn't very practical because there's no way for me to set the meal cost. The meal cost is permanently 50. And there's also no way for me to use the output because it goes straight to the console. I can't assign it to a variable or a constant. So for our function, we need to add parameters, okay? And we need to add a return type. Parameters is the data that you give to the function, and the return type is what you get out of it, okay? So modify your code as follows. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to copy that. Okay. So now you can see here, we have the keyword func. We have the name of the function, service charge. And inside the brackets, we have a parameter. So in this case, the name of the parameter is meal cost. It is an integer. And the function on the whole will return an integer. So inside the body of the function, there's just one statement now. We use the keyword return. That means this is the value that will be returned. Okay. So what we're going to return is meal cost divided by 10. Now, when I call the function, you'll see that I now provide a value for meal cost. And I can assign it to this constant, service charge amount. And when I print service charge amount, I should get 5. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does work. So now you just learned how to use parameters and how to use a return type in a function. Now, you can have many parameters, but you can only have one returned. Sorry, I meant you can have many parameters, but you can only have one value returned for a function. Now, when I call this function, you can see here that it's not very English-like. You just call service charge meal cost. Okay. So to make it more English-like, okay, and make it more easy to understand, you can use an argument label. So this is how you use an argument label. Okay. So you just add an argument label here. This is a custom argument label. And when you call the function, you will use this custom argument label. But within the body of the function, you will use parameter. So if you look at this statement here, when you're calling the function, service charge for meal price, it sounds more easy. It sounds more English-like, so therefore it's easier to understand. So let's see what happens when I run. Okay. So you can see for this function, it still works the same, but when you're calling it, it looks a little bit more pleasant, a little easier to understand, because you're using an argument label. So the next thing that we're going to look at is a nested function. Okay. So for a nested function, let's say, for instance, you have to calculate monthly payments for a car loan. So there's quite a bit of code to type. So bear with me as I type this in. Okay. The name of the function is calculate monthly payments. There are 4 parameters: car price, which is a double, the down payment, which is a double, the interest rate, which is a double, and the payment term in years, which is a double. And the result will be the amount of money that you have to pay every month. So I'm going to go ahead and create some functions within the function body of the calculate monthly payments function. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create the loan amount function. So this calculates the amount that you have to pay. So normally that is the price of the car minus the down payment. So the next function that I just created is total interest. So let's say, for instance, the interest is 3% and the loan term is 7 years. So the total interest that you have to pay on your loan is 3 times 7, which is 21%. The next nested function that you'll be creating is number of months. You take the payment term, which is in years, and multiply it by 12 to get the number of months. Okay. So basically what that says is, this is the value that's going to be returned. We take the loan amount, we add the total interest to the loan amount, that's the amount that you have to pay, and then we divide it by the total number of months in a given payment term. So if that's 7 years, that would be 84 months. So now we can call this function. Hopefully I haven't made any mistakes. Okay. So I'm calling the function calculate monthly payments. The car price is 50,000, the down payment is 5,000. The interest rate is 3.5% and the payment term is 7 years. And when I run this should give me the amount of money I have to pay every month. Okay, which is $666.96, or you can round that off to roughly $667. So that is lesson 7. You've learned what functions are and how to make them. You've learned about parameters and return types. You've learned how to create custom argument labels. And you've learned about nested functions. So good job. And again, we'll be having our next class on Monday at 11 a.m. Malaysia time. If you have any questions or queries, you can always leave them in the comments below. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.